during these sessions, if you have any questions in between, you can ask me anytime. So this is an informal thing, so we know each other. So if you have questions, please raise your hand or open your mic and interrupt me anytime. I'm open for that. If it is difficult, and ask you to ask this question later also. 1 second. Yes. Okay, we had completed this intro section, and this is program content. This is whole 4 session will be divided into this 6 sections. So we'll go ahead with the introduction to Bhakti Ruksha. So this book, how many of you have seen this book? How many of you have this book? Please raise your hand. Ruksha Prabhu has this book with you. Wonderful. Anybody has this book or have seen this book? Okay. So this is the book by ISKCON Congregation Development Ministry. They have, with so much research and activities, they have written this book, and this is the second edition. Wonderful book. I have one few copies in my hand. Okay. Few copies are there with me. In the center also I have kept. Maybe 2 or 3 copies will be there. You can purchase those. Or you can directly go to ISKCON Congregation Development Ministries book website and purchase it from there. Wonderful book. Whatever we are learning today, it's all there into this. If you miss some section, if you miss some points during this presentation, so you can quickly refer to this book and you can get those things in much more detail. Actually, this is called as the Bhakti Ruksha manual. Manual means what? We don't read just manual once and keep it away. More we keep on revising it, more we become proficient into the techniques of this, the activities that we are doing it. That's why this manual has to be handy and always with us. If you want this
Hare
book,
Krishna Prabhuji.
yeah, Prabhuji.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, Prabhuji. I have one question. Like whatever
Mhm.
the week-wise manuals we post, is it from this book only, right? Is this
No, no, no. See, whatever we are using every week, they are the Bhakti Ruksha edification sheets. Okay, so they are not from this book. This book talks about the details, intricacies, and what has to be done to do not to be done, and the case studies and all these things are mentioned. This is a manual. This is our constitution of Bhakti Ruksha, you can say. Our
okay?
how to conduct Bhakti Ruksha, that and what all things we study in Bhakti Ruksha, that is into the edification sheet. These are different things. These are not a manual. Manual means do's and don'ts. That is here. Okay. So there's little difference between these two things. Okay. It talks about the philosophy, basic philosophy of Bhakti Ruksha. It is not talking about the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. We're talking about the philosophy and methodology of Bhakti Ruksha. It's a very handy book, very important book. So keep it with you always. If you can purchase it, please purchase and have it with you. Okay. I think first year when we're doing, I distributed this book to some devotees. They may have this book with them. Mm. Okay. So whatever we are studying, is it from this from this book, and you can keep. Okay. So where Bhakti Ruksha stands in ISKCON laws, that we'll be studying from here. And yeah, see, as per the ISKCON laws, we have a one ministry called as ISKCON Congregation Development Ministry. So GBC has divided their activities into different ministries, that the ministers are there. They will present the functionality of their particular department. As like we have a preaching ministry or maybe book distribution ministry, the DT worship ministries there. There are Shastric and philosophical ministries there. So they keep on doing research into that, and they come up, always keep coming up with a different guidelines for the development of ISKCON. See, this is Bhakti, our GBC has approved this program of Bhakti Vruksha. Of course, long back, GBC resolution has done. The GBC resolution mentions that ISKCON temples should try, I will reading the point there, try to annually double their congregation by training and empowering the congregation through local Namahatta and Bhakti Vriksha cell groups. So they use this word. Ki, very important word is here. Ki, we have to keep on doubling our congregation. This is the this is the aim of ISKCON's preaching. This is the goal of ISKCON preaching. What is the goal? Every year we have to double. Hmm. So this is doubling has a lot of power there. Why the ISKCON is using the word doubling? Because anybody has heard about the power of compounding and all these things. So it has an immense power. Even as small things, we keep on adding it, newer and newer things. No, our growth will be keep on growing. Rushiraj Prabhu, you want to say something?
Continue, bro. And you want exponential growth for that I raised.
Yeah, this is exponential. See, imagine, understand. See, exponential growth is like, uh, okay, consider today we are having at the level of one group, Bhakti Vriksha. Next year we are becoming a two groups. After that we are becoming four groups. Hmm? So, and after that we are becoming four to eight. After that we are becoming. This is just in a 3-4 years we are becoming. Okay, if we are starting from the one group, after 4 years where will be? Let me know. Calculations. 4 years. We are starting from the one.
32.
32. Yes,
64.
but
Hare
64
Krishna.
after 4 years. 64. Hmm?
64,
Yeah.
bro.
Now imagine we as a Bhakti congregation in Kaggadasapura started with 5 groups in our year 1, and now we are entering into the year 3 of our Kaggadasapura congregation, or maybe fourth. So what shall be our status now? Every year doubling, if every year.
No, 5 becomes 10, 10 becomes 20, 20 should become 40 groups.
So we should be having a 40 groups in our congregation. And that's what, of course, this is we are talking about 1 year, but actually, factually, this is happening every 1.5 year, ideally. So, of course, if it's not an 40, at least 20 groups we should have. And of course, we have those many leaders who are ready. Of course, I'm seeing a 30 devotees present here. So 30 devotees leading 30 Bhakti Rikshas. So we have that potential, definitely. The time is separating. And yes, every Bhakti Vriksha will having some 20 or maybe 10 members, consider 10 members. So imagine our strength will be 300 devotees. Imagine 300 devotees coming at one spot for doing some program is a huge. It's a huge. Yesterday we went for a yatra which was having 100 devotees participating. And that also was not our full potential. Only few groups came, and among those groups also very few devotees could join because of various reasons. But yes, the congregation was huge. Mm. So yeah, so exponential growth is there, and it keeps on growing. And very soon, whole world will be inundated with the Krishna consciousness. It has been the predictions. There's a whole world will be inundated. Inundated means flooded with Krishna consciousness. That means everybody will be chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Everybody will be a Krishna conscious. Everybody will be a devotee. Many times we think that कि प्रभु जी ये तो कल्पना लगती हैं. This is just an imagination. Or we, how प्रभु जी it will happen? Is it possible even that कि everybody in the world will be chanting Hare Krishna mantra and no nothing else? So we think that it's difficult, or maybe it's impossible, or maybe that is a dream only. But no, it is definitely possible when we keep on doubling each and every doubling our count. See, actually, there is a technique, it is said that ki every devotee, Prabhupada mentioned, ki, no, ki every devotee, hmm, if they try to make a new devotee every 6 months, not much bigger target. Every 6 months, if we make one devotee, one more devotee in the group, or maybe we can make one person a devotee every 6 months. then imagine our doubling will be having, we will be doing more than doubling in our this thing. Hmm? So, hmm, yeah, one person a year. Prabhuji, Jyotish Prabhu is telling one person a year, but I was reading here, they are telling, GBC was telling one person per 6 month. But it is definitely possible. We have so many opportunities, we can do that. Hmm? Yeah. See, then we understand what is this Bhakti Vriksha. There are, we have heard about Bhakti Vriksha, you would have heard about Namahatta. Hmm? Okay, before going ahead, let me know, when you read, you speak about Bhakti Vriksha, what comes to your mind when you talk about Bhakti Vriksha? Bhakti Vriksha kya hai? Anybody can raise the hand. What Bhakti Vriksha is and what comes to your
Eh,
mind when you talk about Bhakti Vriksha?
It's a tree of bhakti that continuously grows, Prabhu.
Okay, tree of a bhakti which continuously grows. Janki Mataji, what you say?
Prabhuji, I feel that they are a group of devotees, those who are trying to practice bhakti together
Mm-hmm.
by associating with each other.
Okay, so the Bhakti Vriksha is a way of method of associating with each other. Wonderful,
Yes.
nice. Anybody else wants to contribute something into that? What Bhakti Vriksha comes to your, what comes to your mind when you talk, when you hear the term Bhakti Vriksha?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
It's a Vriksha means I relate to that computer terminal tree structure.
कौन सा वाला structure?
Tree database, data structure.
Database tree structure. हाँ,
हाँ,
okay, okay.
एक
Yes.
नोड रहेगा उससे ब्रांचेस ब्रांचेस बढ़ते बढ़ते जाएंगे ऐसा.
हाँ, yeah, nice. That's exactly it is. Hmm? Of course, we'll go into that. What exactly Bhakti Riksha is? We have heard a term Bhakti Riksha. We have heard term Manamahatta. These are the two preaching techniques. Many times we hear Bhakti Riksha. Where people think that Bhakti Riksha means every Saturday जब हम लोग बैठते हैं ना, that is Bhakti Riksha. People think like that. But actually, that is not a Bhakti Riksha. Bhakti Riksha is, when you say Bhakti Riksha is a tree, that means Bhakti Riksha as having, Vriksha, tree has branches, isn't it? And what all things tree consist? Branches, leaves, fruits, flowers, and many other things. The bird will come, that make a nest into that. So this whole completely called as a vriksha. Not just simply a branches, but the leaves and the fruits and the flowers and all these things are there. They are into the they are into the vriksha. When we call as a bhakti vriksha, they are not simply a branches. Branches are there, but of course, apart from that, there are the small branches, the big branches, the trunk is there. There are the leaves. So every member in the bhakti vriksha is like a leaf, and every cell, every group is a kind of a small branch. And that's how branching is, of course, is a very important uh, uh, phenomena that bhakti vriksha inculcates into it. Branching. Mm? We have one bhakti, one group, and after some time it becomes a two, and it becomes a three, and there's a four and five, and then becomes a hierarchy. And one, well, that's why sometimes bhakti vriksha, what we have in our homes every Saturday, it's called as a bhakti vriksha cell, or a bhakti vriksha group, or sometimes they call as a bhakti vriksha meeting. Hmm? So what we have on Saturday in our homes, it's not actually a Bhakti Riksha, but actually that is a, either maybe people call a Bhakti Riksha meeting, Bhakti Riksha cell, or Bhakti Riksha group, or something like that. Many names are there. So that is a one small group into that. But everything put together, do you remember? Do you know? Remember when I asked you to introduce yourself, I asked you to mention your name and which sector you belong to. That's very important to understand where, what is my position here. I belong to one Bhakti Vriksha group. That group belongs to a sector, and that sector belong to Kaggadasapura circle. And that's how this branching keeps on happening. So in this Bhakti Riksha, they will have so many different things happening. So Namahatta means what? Namahatta means the marketplace where the holy names are distributed freely. It has a program similar to the temple program, and like a formal lecture with question and answer. So this Namahatta technique of preaching is widely used many places. Like, I will give the exemplary of this is West Bengal. West Bengal as well as into Bangladesh. This Namahatta preaching has grown such a widely that in a West Bengal there is not a single village left out which is not having Namahatta, which is not having a devotees there. It is grass rooted and is widely spread. Hmm. And another technique of Bhakti Vriksha, not a technique of preaching is a Bhakti Vriksha. And a successful example of Bhakti Vriksha is uh, preaching. Previously, of course, the prime example was the devotee preaching in Bahrain and other Gulf countries where there is no temple, there is no common meeting place, and all these things, but still devotee wanted to preach and grow. So these devotees they relied heavily on the Bhakti Rusha type of a preaching, and they grew widely. This is the strongest preaching all over the world. This in Gulf countries, and of course now ISKCON Whitefield is also setting itself as an ideal example, a very prominent example in the whole Bhakti Riksha world. Hmm. So these are the two examples and two different um preaching techniques, Namahatta and Bhakti Vriksha. So as I mentioned कि प्रभु जी ये भक्ति वृक्षा है and it keeps on growing and it keeps on multiplying and all these things. So many times people think अरे तो marketing strategy है. This is a marketing strategy that people are using, and doubling and all these things are there. And many times we have heard about it ना कि भाई अरे ये Christian missionaries, they are also having this kind of techniques of preaching and growing. Few days back I was um, um, studying one preaching techniques of Muslims also. There's a Muslim community called as a Tablighi Jamaat. Hmm. They also they're also very heavy on the preaching and growing. Hmm. So they also have similar kind of techniques. So where it is coming from? Have we copied from them, or have you copied from the Christian missionaries? Missionaries matlab people who have a mission and they are putting into in their life. The Christian missionaries like that we are taken it? No, we are the original. We are not taken from the Christian missionaries and all this is, but yes, we are original one. So root goes to Nityananda Prabhu. When I was going, I went to the place called Surabhi Kunj. Hmm. There I heard this pastime of Nityananda Prabhu. Hmm. When Nityananda Prabhu was in Jagannath Puri, and all these devotees from Bengal used to come regularly to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu told Nityananda Prabhu, "Stop coming to Jagannath Puri." So shocking, right? Mahaprabhu told Nityananda Prabhu to don't come, but Mahaprabhu gave him a very heavy responsibility. Go and preach in West Bengal, inundate whole West Bengal, whole Bengal with Krishna Nam. And Nityananda Prabhu, along with his toli, the team, he came back. And in the Surabhi Kunj, he kept on doing his bhajan, strong meditation to how to grow it. And after that, Nityananda Prabhu started spreading this mission all over the Bengal. And less than 12 years, there's so much preaching was so much so that Dattacharya tells that ki market is saturated. There is no other taker, nobody else was there who is not Krishna conscious. This is Nityananda Prabhu's preaching technique. Not just Nityananda Prabhu, hmm, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did this before Nityananda Prabhu also. You remember the story of Chandkazi? Yesterday I mentioned in the Yatra also. The Chandkazi story, Chandkazi banned people from doing Nagar Kirtan, banned people from coming together. Mahaprabhu said, don't worry. Go to your homes, go to your places, and keep chanting Hare Krishna mantra at your courtyards. And come together and just Dasa Pacha Mili, Nija, Dware te bosiya, Kirtan karo ho sabe, hate tali diya. What you have to do? You just have to sit, fight, and people together and at your doorstep and chant holy name congregationally, clapping your hands. This is the Bhakti Ruksha, or maybe this preaching technique has been pioneered, or maybe started by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu almost 500 years back. These all techniques are there from that, and the same techniques hmm, is being taken and formalized and standardized by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Hmm? So, okay, here we read the last one. SP comments in the commentary of this particular this one. The way to care many people in is to divide them into groups and to delegate the leadership to the more advanced. So this line is very important. Prabhupada is to say, yes, divide and delegate. Divide and delegate is a technique to grow. Hmm. So our group will keep on dividing, and newer people will taking the leadership, who are little advanced, who are little serious, who are little curious, who are little willing. They will take the leadership and grow the group. Hmm. This is a technique. Hmm. So after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after Nityananda Prabhu, Bhaktivinoda Thakur re-established, of course, after that Mahaprabhu's departure. There was a big flood where people forgot Krishna consciousness. Bhaktivinoda Thakur revived it. He re-established this Namata preaching technique. Actually, sometimes I give this the preaching report of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, of course, it will come again in the further slides. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was preaching so widely that he was single-handedly was preaching to thousands of people, and that too closely preaching. It is actually we see that humanly impossible. Management principles, management values, uh, they say ki one manager can do reporting, or maybe can take the reportings from max to max. How many people? Any idea is there? A manager, how many people has to be there under him to reporting? What is the capacity in the management principles?
Maybe
Can a person
maybe 15. Blind
15,
guess.
20,
A blind
50?
guess.
So how many of you have 40 people reporting to you? Somebody was telling me yesterday, Prabhuji, I have 40 people report to me. Actually, it's impossible to look after all of them carefully. 40 people. Management says a person can look after carefully and diligently only till, but human capacity is to 10 people, 8 to 10. So this is how our group grows. Our group doesn't grows more than 10. Of course, if group is growing more than 10, we just divide it. Generally, the idea is ki group starts with the 2 3 people. It keeps on growing and growing and growing. When it grows to 20, we divide it into again small groups, and then these groups individually starts growing again. Mm. So in this way, Bhakti Riksha grows. Bhakti Saraswati Thakur also inspired this Namata preaching technique along with his father Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Mm. Okay, so there are some quotes on the screen. I want somebody to read those. One person.
I can read, Prabhu.
Yes, please, bro.
From starting, Prabhu, BV Roots.
Yes, bro.
BV Roots, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, by whose preaching and direction Namahata is established and spread all over the world. Srila Prabhupada, for all practical purpose, adopted the BV style of preaching. Any temple that got 15 to 20 devotees was generally divided into half, and half of devotees went to some other city to start a new temple. In this way, within a short period, the number of ISKCON temples increased to 108. Srila Prabhupada instructed that the purpose of these temples and facilities like farms, restaurants, etc., is to train people to establish temple worship in their households, to practice Krishna conscious at home, making it a predominant feature of their lives. His vision was never that everyone in the world live in a temple.
Prabhupada mentioned many times in the initial days, he encouraged devotees to come, stay in temple, and okay, you become a full-time devotee, shave your head, husband and wife, both of them staying in a temple. There are so many examples. Husband and wife both staying in a temples as a full-time brahmacharis. Mataji's had a different ashram and Prabhuji's had a different ashram, even though they are married. And even though they are married, they were staying like a brahmacharis and brahmacharinis that time. So and yeah, this was the situation, and no, rarely people who is outside they will be called as a devotees. But slowly, mission grew. Many people started coming. Well-wishers increased, and gradually, the devotees who are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra along the society, they started growing. And Prabhupada saw the growth, and he mentioned that in future, 90% or many other devotees will be staying outside the temple and serving Krishna. So it is coming up. So we are seeing Prabhupada's vision is coming up in the form of the congregation that we have. Few full timers will be there. Even the bhakti, even the Grasta congregation or Grasta full timers also are there today even. But majority of them are the Grastas who are working outside but practicing and serving enthusiastically. Hmm. So this is how our ISKCON movement, as was envisioned, to grow. How this not everybody will be staying in a temple, and there is not temple may not have the capacity to cater to everybody. Hmm. And so that we have to create some system so that we can grow, and progress. So in the temples also, in previous Prabhupada's times also, it was not like that ki, everybody staying in one temple. Prabhupada always kept on growing. One person, there's many people in the one same temple, used to send them to different countries and the cities. People were adventurous. They were taking the risk for Prabhupada, and this mission movement grew. Mm. So now there's a different mood and different uh, type of preaching happening today, than what used to happen in Srila Prabhupada time. But the principle is the same: divide and grow, divide and grow. Hmm? ठीक है? Okay. So what is Bhakti Vriksha? We are going to second section of Bhakti Vriksha, of this presentation. Till now, if anybody has a question or maybe some comments you want to put, nothing? Are we good? Shall we go
Hare
ahead?
Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Maybe some out of context, maybe little the topic came. I will ask if it's okay to take up now, otherwise you can
Tell
take
the
up.
question. I will see if can take it.
Prabhu, when you saw that the missionaries of Christian and
Huh?
Muslims has taken techniques from our culture, okay.
Hmm.
But when some people sense that we are also generally due to this Christian is all our Hindu Sanatana people
Hmm.
developed some aversion to missionary works.
Hmm.
When they feel that these people are trying to preach, they're trying to expand
Hmm.
these things they sense, they start hating God.
Hmm.
You are doing like means I don't like your preaching like your Christian people do. So
Hmm.
I don't
Hmm.
like you. Like that comments came. So how to
Yeah.
address this?
See, somehow I don't know how, but Indian culture, Indian people have taken that कि अरे भक्ति करनी है, तो we have to do in a heart, and there is no need of preaching. Hmm? So this
Mhm.
technique, this thing has come up because our Indian culture or maybe our philosophy talks about the dharma, means our innate natural tendency to love Krishna. And we
Mhm.
assume, being a Mahabhagavata kind of, they assume that yeah, everybody is a devotee, everybody to connected to Krishna. But to preach, definitely we have to come to the lower level and find out, yes, people are suffering, people are in the pain and problems, they're forgetting Krishna. We have to remind them. So this is the tendency of a Kanishta Adhikari. This is not kind of anything which is not done before. It is always done, and it was always the culture always there. It's not as something we are newly inventing. In historically we are doing it before this mission, this missionaries and this preachers, Muslim and Christian preachers were present. India was preaching and expanding. We are expanding our culture, all the places. Our temples and the Brahmanas and the sannyasis where our preacher used to go down to town and village to preach and talk and cultivate and make people stronger in Krishna consciousness. They were the preachers, they were doing it. Hmm? It's not just simply those people are doing it and we are copying from them. Hmm? Yes, we were always doing it.
So how to
Hmm?
distinguish? I mean, they are preaching, you are preaching. What is the difference? So how to they are also preaching, you are also preaching.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between both of you?
Yeah. Radha Mataji wants to say something here. Radha Mataji, you want to answer this or you have another question?
Mataji,
Okay.
you're on mute. Maybe you're speaking.
Is it?
Sankadai.
ठीक है. Shankadari Prabhu? Okay. If you have another question or you are supporting, you can let us know.
I would like to add a point, Prabhu.
Mm-hmm.
Like preaching was always there. If we see in Ramanujacharya time, like we can see how not only Ramanujacharya, his disciples were doing. They used to go to other villages. They used to have so many gatherings of public, and they used to preach about this. And even at that time, they had the Mayavadi philosophy. They had to fight back. So many times, Mayavadi philosophers used to be very strong in their preaching and defending them. Like Ramanujacharya disciples would have a counter preaching, and they will try to convince the people they are in the wrong path. So it was happening like that. So even Shankaracharya did that. He used to travel all over, like he
Yeah.
tried to cover all the four sides of India to preach the philosophy. So it was like it was that. So maybe we can mention all these acharyas, so they will understand, like meaning many people in general, they don't feel what our acharyas did as a preaching. They saw it as a it was their way of living. They saw it as it like that. But when it comes to Christianity, and it became like preaching means conversion. And because ISKCON, we have a rules and regulations. We have certain. They don't understand that these comes from our Vedic system. They see it as if some kind of Western concept we are trying to impose on them. So we can try to speak to them on the platform of Vedic culture and from our acharyas. Then we can bring into like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like Bhakti movement it was. So many of us would have studied it in our social studies. Bhakti movement, Chaitanya, like that it would have, we will get a
Studied
section,
it.
a lesson. So we can
Mhm.
mention that. So people can relate to it. So they won't feel something, it's an Western culture or something alien to them.
Yeah. Perfectly presented,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Hare
Aradhana
Krishna.
Mataji. Hmm.
Prabhuji, same thing I wanted to tell what Santushta Mataji told. Like Sankaracharya, then there was Vedic culture was almost almost it disappeared before Sankaracharya. Buddhism was widely spread. So
Hmm.
Sankaracharya had to move from down south till Kashmir to spread the Vedic system. So that was also the biggest preaching mission of our history. Same
Hmm.
thing like Santushta Mataji told, same thing. And many people who are non-devotees, no, they relate to Sankaracharya's preaching. So when we
Hmm.
give Sankaracharya's example, maybe that will be easy for us.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you, Mataji, Aradhana Mataji. Yeah. This is the point. So, Rishi Prabhu was mentioning one more point there. Ki if we are also preaching, then how we are doing something different. We are also not like them who are preaching. Yes, of course, preaching is happening here, but not at the edge of the sword or maybe we are not forcing anybody, which is just convincing people. We are not, this is, preaching is not kind of a pushing people or with threatening somebody else. Or maybe alluring them for something, their material benefit. Yes, we are convincing logically and systematically. So our preaching technique and preaching purpose is different. So yes, in this way we are different people. We are not into mass conversion and all these things. Yeah, but yes, when we are doing it nicely and strongly, yes, it will become widespread. Yes, Harish Prabhu, want to put
Alex,
some point here.
Prabhu, even yesterday, we went to the temple and where we I come across a question and even me and Mohan Rupa Prabhu and just I added one question other sampradayas they I think they feel it's my perception, I don't know, but mostly they are into what you can say ritualistic and they follow rituals, they means they adapt ritualistic things very you can say deeply,
Strongly.
okay, yeah,
Hmm.
strongly. And you didn't find any other sampradayas like preaching activities will be like this much of international
Hmm.
spread happen, okay,
Hmm.
wherein if you come to ISKCON, wherein
Hmm.
Brahma Madhya Gauda Sampradaya.
Hmm.
So they have internationally spread these things.
Hmm.
So is it the fact other sampradayas they didn't concentrate more on preaching part and our sampradayas we
Till
want?
now, yes, actually there was some apprehension about preaching, as you mentioned. So it was like that ki before we used to, we never considered preaching is so important, or maybe we never considered talking to these people who are not cultured about our Vedic culture. Like arguments and the preaching used to happen only in the Sanskrit language, and the literature was written in only Sanskrit language. Like that, there was some apprehension was there. If they are not speaking Sanskrit and they are not having any foundation about basic idea of Vedic culture, there is no point in preaching to them. We consider them as a low class. So preaching didn't happen there. Of course, many madhvas as are there like that. They never preached since long time. They whatever preaching was happening only in India, and that too among the scholarly peoples. Hmm. But of course, when ISKCON went and preached all over the world, yes, these people understood we have to preach in English language and we have to preach to the masses. So now, of course, I'm seeing many madhvas are crossing the oceans, but the sannyasis are crossing the oceans, which was never happened before, and they are going and preaching. Even Sri Vaishnavas are also going across the oceans and preaching and spreading there. Yes, now everybody is taking this preaching widely. They understood, yeah, if we don't preach, we'll get extinct. Yeah. Karnapati
Okay.
Prabhu was saying something.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'll not take much time. We have been discussed this quite. I agree to all of their comments, especially Santushta Mataji, Aradhana Mataji, this preaching reflection. So I just wanted to quickly comment the difference of preaching from Christianity perspective, Islam perspective, ISKCON perspective, and what is the major difference actually. The motivation behind the Christianity preaching will be love mixed with the fear of sin. Okay, if I commit this sin, what will going to happen? In Islam, if you see desiring for a reward,
Right.
okay, go to salvation, things like that. But ISKCON preaching is completely different from this. That's pure causeless love, agaituki bhakti. That means
Mm.
that why I am doing this for my own reason or for pleasure of the Supreme. So the agaituki, that's pure causeless love, is one of the biggest motivation actually for ISKCON, actually why we are doing this and why for eternal love is service to God. And it is love centered, and unlike faith or obedience, it's love centered. The overall preaching from ISKCON is a love centered, and approach is awaken your love for the same Supreme Lord. That means we are already having it dormant, we have to awaken that. Not like making people fearful of something or obedient to something, otherwise, what is going to happen? So that is a major difference. And ISKCON is doing because we are coming from Gaudi Sampradaya and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Supreme Holy Godhead, he is Acharya of this parampara. And he has actually commanded us to preach. That is one of the important things that I thought I'll just quickly address. So thank you for the opportunity. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Thank you,
Prabhu,
Prabhuji.
like maybe I'll follow up offline. Can you repeat that Islam what they're preaching, the fear, those keywords? Just wanted.
I will, need some time. Is it okay? I'll share your.
Yes, Prabhu, sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
ठीक है.
Correct.
Thank you,
Thank,
Prabhuji. Thank you,
yeah,
Ganapati Prabhu, putting
actually, it's nice
nice
to
points.
I got so much clarity about this by discussing.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, so let us go ahead. Oh, where's this gone? Okay. So now we are talking about Bhakti Ruksha group. What Bhakti Ruksha group is? Of course, I mentioned what is the Bhakti Vruksha. Bhakti Ruksha. Okay. Somebody want to read the quotes on the screen once? One devotee.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
BV group. What is BV? Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita says Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his movement are compared to the tree of devotion, the BV. Srila Prabhupada says ISKCON is one of the branches of Chaitanya tree. Therefore, every small group in ISKCON congregation is therefore a branch
Congregation.
of congregation is therefore a branch of that main branch of the tree of bhakti of Lord Chaitanya. This system keeps the group small, maintaining an intimate atmosphere of personal care and nurturing, not possible in large groups.
Yes, Hare Krishna. So, what is the Bhakti Ruksha group? So, as I mentioned, this is the Bhakti Ruksha is a tree and whole preaching movement. Everything comes under this Bhakti Ruksha. Bhakti Ruksha, the Vriksha has a tree, branches and twigs and the trunks, the leaves, flowers, and everything. So, whole ISKCON movement is divided into this movement has a temples. This movement has a Namatta centers. This movement has a small bhakti centers. Bhakti centers are also the Hindi English translation of the Namahatta actually. So we have all this, and along with that we have a preaching small preaching groups. We have a sectors, we have a circles, we have a Mahachakra, and all these things. Everything together is a Bhakti Vriksha, and we are a small part of it. Hmm. So Bhakti is growing like a tree. Actually, it is not simply started with ISKCON. It's we have understood the root is Krishna, and from Krishna this knowledge is coming and spreading. It's a disciplic succession, and disciplic succession also is spreading like a tree. One teacher has many disciples, and these disciples have many other disciples, and these disciples will keep on distributing this knowledge, and that's how tree grows. ISKCON is one of the branch of that main tree which is growing from Krishna. Root is in Krishna. Hmm. So purpose of this Bhakti Ruksha is to keep a group small, maintaining an intimate atmosphere of personal care. Yes, of course, we can say that key of previously preaching was happening, like, one flamboyant speaker will come, like a Gaur Gopal Das or maybe Amog Lila Prabhu or Amarendra Prabhu. Whenever he comes, there is a crowd of thousands of people will be flocking around to hear from him, and their fan base having a big, huge fan base. I remember once Amog Lila Prabhu was telling, Ki actually, I'm not doing any preaching. Sir, Prabhuji, आप तो you are the big preacher, you are the speaking, people are here ready to hear from you, and they're taking inspiration from you, and all these things. Prabhuji was saying, no, this is not preaching. Actually, preaching is done by my other leaders in a ISKCON Dwarka temple. People go to ISKCON Dwarka only for the seeing. अरे ISKCON द्वारका में जाने के बाद अमूल्य प्रभु के दर्शन हुए क्या भगवान के दर्शन होने थे. So he was telling, no, I'm not actually preaching. The other devotees are actually preaching. They are connecting to them, they are talking to them, they are cultivating them. Cultivation is done by them. I am just a person who is attracting them, or maybe kind of being an inspiration. That's all. So this is how preaching. Many times people think that here I'm sitting and thousands of people sitting in my class and I'm giving the something class and people are crying and tears and laughing and the laugh and roaring. This is not preaching actually. Mm. Personal care makes people devotee. See, some people they may have the gifted quality like Amog Lila Prabhu, Amrendra Prabhu, or maybe Gaur Gopal Prabhu, like that they can hook them with their voices. They are gifted people. Krishna has gifted with those qualities to them. If I am not that, if I don't have those qualities, can't I preach? Is it not possible for me to preach? No, definitely not. Preaching happens with one on one. Preaching happens with the personal care, nurturing. So in the bigger classes, we will not be able to look after each and every person's problems and each and every person's obstacles and hesitations. Maybe sometimes people will not be open to talk about those in the public, or maybe, and even the big preachers, they don't have time even to talk to all the thousands of people. As I mentioned, no, one manager can handle only 8 to 10 people reporting to him. After that, is overburden on him. His efficiency goes on decreasing. It's not that he cannot, but his efficiency goes on decreasing. Effective management goes to only 5 to 10, 8 to 10 people. So that's how Bhakti Ruksha is a group kept small. Hmm. What is the goal of this BV program? Hmm. So purpose of this BV program is this. Practice, grow, and preach. Always remember these three words in your life. Why I am running this Bhakti Ruksha? I am running this Bhakti Ruksha for these three important things: practice, grow, and preach. Practice for whom? Is my practice? No, I have to help them. Of course, I am practicing. My seniors, my mentors, they did this for me, and same thing I'm doing it for them, for others. Practice, grow, and preach. I'm going to help them, my members, to practice Krishna consciousness in their life. What are problems are there in their lives? What are obstacles are in their chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and all this I'm going to help them. And I'm helping them to grow. आज दो माला पे हैं तो चार माला पे कैसे आएगा? How he will come to the four rounds? What are the difficulties? Why he's not taking up this Krishna consciousness? And what are the obstacles into him? So those I'm going to talk to him and counsel and let him grow. And when he's practicing, and when he's growing, and when he's sufficiently saturated with Krishna conscious philosophy in his heart, automatically we have to give them opportunities to preach. So in every Bhakti Ruksha, they will have so many ample opportunities to support people's that urge to give this Krishna consciousness to others. When somebody is giving, somebody is ready and he is bursting with the Krishna conscious philosophy to talk to others, that understand that person is ready, matured, and ripen. We have to give them opportunity to talk this to others. Many people will think कि अरे प्रभु जी ये लोग preach क्यों नहीं करते? Because they are not saturated yet. When they are doing practice, they are growing and they are saturated with those, automatically preaching will happen. And when they are matured enough to preach, now it's our responsibility to give them opportunity to go and preach. It can be the book distribution program, it can be a Bhakti Buddy program, मतलब connecting one another, giving him sometimes he will be nicely grown that we can give him his independent responsibility of Bhakti Vriksha group. So divide and he will become Bhakti Vriksha leader there, and he will be keep on preaching. Yes, Prabhupada says one cannot carry out Chaitanya's orders without preaching. Prabhupada says Mahaprabhu has already given order, right? Anybody remember that shloka from Chaitanya Charitamrita? Where Mahaprabhu orders everybody to preach. What is that? Yes, correct. Can you somebody talk about it a little bit? Uh, Full shloka somebody say? Amaragya. What is that? Amaragya Guru hiya
Yagya Guru.
tare desh jare dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. Wonderful. So Mahaprabhu has given whoever you see talk about Krishna consciousness. You will not be a flamboyant preacher, you will not be a mass puller, crowd puller, but one person. Jare dekho, whoever you see, talk about Krishna consciousness. This is how. Without preaching, Mahaprabhu's order will not be executed. Preaching will not happen. Hmm. So now these are some important principles, important uh, 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 ideas about what Bhakti Rusha group is. Some important points. There are some 20 points are here. We are going to go through this. Bhakti Rusha group is a small group meeting once in a week. This is Bhakti Rusha group is a We are talking about Bhakti Vriksha group. We're not talking about full Bhakti Vriksha. One group we are talking about is a weekly meeting program. Practices Krishna consciousness with the help of the servant leader. Servant leader means who? Who are the servant leader who are leading this group? Servant leader. The term servant leader is very important. We'll discuss about it later. Who facilitate the group's interactions and supervises everyone's spiritual life. What he has to do? Two things are here. Hmm? What is the job of a servant leader? Two things are mentioned here. Can somebody point out? Yeah. One thing is facilitate.
Facilitates the group in interaction.
Facilitate. Yes.
Supervise.
And then second is
Supervise.
supervise. What do you
Supervisor.
understand? What do you understand when we say supervise?
Following up and help them, assist them in whatever the obstacles they face is called supervising role.
Supervisor always in the construction management place also the supervisor will be there. In your IT companies also there will be a team leader will be there. That job is a supervisor job actually. What they will do? They will keep on watching. Array, these people are building properly or not. They are keeping this stone properly or not. टेढ़ा तो नहीं जा रहा है ना? This is job of supervisor. Everybody is doing their job properly or not. So supervisor, our servant leader job is to make sure that everybody is going in the right direction. Their conception is growing, their ideas on Krishna consciousness are growing properly or not. Is while growing, while practicing Krishna consciousness, is there any bad practices creeping in or not? We have to be very, very careful. Supervisor or a nurse, in the doctors, nurse will be carefully observing the patient. Doctor will be the one who will be doing the surgery and prescribing the medicines. However, nurse job is to carefully observe the patient. Our job is like that. We are observing each and every member who are handed over to us, who have taken the responsibility, and facilitate groups interactions, and the group the discussion and all these things should grow. So facilitate, we have a in the interviews we used to have a group discussion thing. Group discussion means not just one person simply keeps on talking, but the group leader's job is to facilitate, encourage people to talk and interact and express themselves. This is the job of a servant leader. ठीक है. Second point, train servant leader with the clear duties and responsibilities. The servant leader has to have the clarity of his duties and responsibility. What I should do, what I should not do. It should be clear with me. Okay. SL servant leader trains a trainee. Servant leader. Yeah, you can think about it. Look at this point. Trainee servant leader. As soon as Bhakti Risha is formed, we have to identify a trainee servant leader who will be assisting, who will be learning by seeing the servant leader. And servant leader keeping a close watch and giving the responsibilities to the servant, trainee servant leader. So every servant leader, Bhakti Risha leader, he should have a trainee along with him. If they don't have, that means they are lacking something. Very important factor in your Bhakti Riksha is a servant trainee leader. So trainee servant leader who is groomed with the clear duties and responsibilities. That's why I have so many devotees here who are not Bhakti Riksha leaders but still joined in this discussion to know what is actually had to do. ठीक है. In short, he learns by apprenticeship. Each one and teach one while being taught by one. So we call it as a Bhakti Buddy program, Bhakti Buddies. So we have one person into Bhakti Riksha and who is coming since long time, and suddenly somebody comes very, very new after five weeks or 7 weeks or 8 weeks. He has lost many things. So he has to come up quickly. So this buddy has to be given. Okay, you have come new. This is your buddy. Then he will teach. He will bring him to the everybody's discussion, everybody's level. So this is the bhakti buddies. Each one and teach one. You can pair up devotees so that they can learn with each other. Trained on Vaishnava philosophy based on Srila Prabhupada books and Vaishnava culture, like a puja, offering foodstuffs, everything. So Bhakti Riksha group's purpose is to train people into Vaishnava philosophy, how to do arti. That's why we have we many times we have turns and rotations. Everybody should do arti. Even though we are doing arti at a Bhakti Risha leader's home, but everybody is getting chance to do arti, sing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, sing some Vaishnava bhajans, or how to do offering. This is the place for the training others. Mm, Yeah. And again, sixth point. Members are encouraged to learn and preach systematically the message of Lord Chaitanya for expanding the Harinam Sankirtan movement. Hmm. So there should be proper study programs where they can learn and preach. Hmm. When BV groups are eventually reaches 15 members, it is ready to multiply. It's in the healthier atmosphere. It happens every 15 to 16 months. Mm. So if, this they're talking about 15 to 60 months, there should be a natural multiplication. Bhakti Risha doesn't grow with okay, we are just doing a Gita course and people are getting added into it. No. Naturally, Bhakti Risha grows. And after 15, 18 months, they will multiply. And after multiplication, they start again. Mm. So naturally, people grow. This is natural growth of Bhakti Riksha. And personal guide is assigned to every new member. Personal guide. Every person has somebody who is mentoring them. It's very rare in the whole world today. Today's Rajoguni Tamoguni world. Nobody has a time for each other. This personal guide selflessly looking each other, each person, and helping him to grow. Hmm. So it's very important, and we are doing it free of cost. We have a life coach and this and that. So many things are programs are there. They take a lot of money for that. This is a selfless task. We are doing it. All members are systematically engaged in preaching. Of course, their systematic preaching program has to be formed and do it. Okay. Now, in Bhakti Ruksha meetings, what's happening? In a discuss, understand, and application (DUA), everyone participates. Bhakti Ruksha leader must make sure that nobody sits silent in the class. So, not we cannot say the class in the meeting. Meeting, everybody is participating. Somebody is not participating. We have to find out what's the issue with him, or not understanding, or he's shy, and we have to encourage. When people feel homely there, well, definitely people feel shy just many times because they feel scared to be criticized. So we have to remove that criticizing and pulling legs kind of environment, so that people will free and confident to talk about their ideas in the DUA meetings. Hmm? Yeah. In meetings, there is one section for preaching reports and plans. This is quite essential portion in your Bhakti Riksha. Many times, Bhakti Riksha leaders, they uh, they don't give much value or importance to this section. But I have seen any group which is giving much emphasis on this section, preaching reports and preaching plans. Two things are there. First, take a preaching reports, what we have done before, take a report of that, and what we are going to do in the future, make up plans for that. So this is very important. Preaching is the essence. Group section is for this, and anybody who is doing this, they are growing very fast. The group is regularly visited and supervised by a sector servant who manages 3 to 4 Bhakti Riksha group. So, Bhakti Riksha leader must make sure that his sector leader comes and attends his Bhakti Riksha once in a while. Once in a while means what? Once in a year? No. At least once in a month. Hmm? Every third and fourth Bhakti Riksha, you must call, Prabhu ji, बहुत दिन हो गए आप आए नहीं है. You have to follow behind him at least. And Bhakti sector leader also must make sure that every month, at least once, he goes and observes how Bhakti Riksha is happening. Hmm? ठीक है. So Bhakti Riksha sector leader is not a part of, is not um, um, uh, leader of that Bhakti Vriksha. Leader is always a leader, Bhakti Vriksha leader. Sector leader will go to observe it and supervise the activities of that group. Hmm? Group regularly reports its activities to higher authorities. 13th number point is quite important. Many seen, I have seen Bhakti Rikshas which are not reporting their activities to their authorities or maybe sector leaders. Their problems and challenges are unattended and they will never grow. I have observed many times, many Bhakti Rikshas I have seen who are not reporting, who are not generating their Bhakti Riksha. As soon as your Bhakti Riksha gets over, you have to generate Bhakti Riksha report immediately and send it to the sector leader. People say that अरे हमारे sector leader को बहुत time नहीं रहता. Our sector leader is so busy. He doesn't look at Bhakti Riksha reports. What to do? But it is not for the sector leaders, but it is for your own meditation that your Bhakti Riksha is growing. You know, I many times I give the example of how tortoise hatches its eggs and how bird hatches its eggs and how a fish hatches its eggs. Bird hatches its eggs by sitting on it, giving his personal warmth, sitting with it, keeping the eggs close together, personal warmth. It grows. Yes, this is very nice to keep your Bhakti members close enough so that they will get the warmth of your love and affection and they grow. Care. They will grow. And fishes, what they do? They keep on observing, watch. Fishes, they don't have warmth and all this thing in the water. They just lay the eggs and they keep on looking at it. Just by looking, the eggs will hatch. Watching, carefully watching. Some other enemy is not coming and eating their eggs and all these things. Scary, carefully, caregiving, protecting by what regularly watching. That is a fish things. And tortoise, what tortoise does? Even tortoise lays his eggs on the shore and goes to the ocean. He doesn't even watches them. Once gone, gone, and automatically these eggs are hatched and they come into the ocean and they meet their parents there in the ocean. How it happens? It's the power of the meditation of that tortoise, parent tortoise. They will even they're in the ocean, they'll keep on meditating. Your members are not in front of you right now. You meet your members only once in a week. Hmm? But whole week your meditation goes on them. And your meditation will help them to grow and become serious. More you're meditating on your members, and every day you are praying for your members. Oh Krishna, please make this devotee grow in the Krishna consciousness. Yes, your devotee is going to, your member is going to get a mercy. So, and that will happen naturally when you generate report on them. When you it will happen naturally when you meditate on them while making the report. You are thinking about each and every member while making the report. This Prabhuji has said like this in the class. Okay, he has to improve into this section. Okay, this Prabhuji told, oh, so nice qualities. He has mentioned those nice qualities into that. The report generation is very important. And when you generate this report and share with your seniors, they're also very happy. Yes, this people, this group is growing good. And whenever there's a need of rescue, they can take action on it. And whenever there's a need for encouragement for some activities, they can take action on that also. So report generation is very important. Many devotees lack this thing. अरे प्रभु ये क्या है तो मैकेनिकल वर्क, ये तो क्लरिकल जॉब है प्रभु जी. This is not a clerical job. Report generation is not a clerical job. This is real meditation on the members. Okay. Yeah. The group members are encouraged to take more responsibility, seva and prachar. So we can give them more and more this one. Can somebody read the last quote? GM Guru Maharaj says.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
GM says groups that lack systematic, weak, long engagement in serving and preaching are bound to eventually lose the taste for hearing and chanting. Krishna.
Yeah. What we understand? It is not just simply Saturday meeting. Saturday meeting, of course, Saturday we are meeting we are for the purpose of saying, but week-long engagement has to happen. Something should be there every whole week. They will be keep on thinking about the program. Some hook should be always there. Okay, Prabhuji, next week you are going and coming and singing kirtan before the class. And he's thinking, Arey, next week I have to sing and let me think. Then in the weekdays he will call, Prabhuji, Prabhuji, I have to sing. This tune is okay or not? Prabhuji, okay, let me know. Let me hear how you are singing. Then he will sing for you over the phone or something like that. And you say, correct, okay, Prabhuji, ऐसा नहीं ऐसा गाना चाहिए, ऐसा गाना चाहिए. And that's how that week long engagement will happen. In weekdays also we can have some activities. I saw there are so many devotees doing the reading session or japa session in the weekdays also, right? This is the week long engagement. Whoever not does that is a prediction or is an observation that people eventually lose taste of hearing and chanting. You understood? Sometimes many people asked this question in the introduction session. Why people lose their interest in Krishna consciousness or maybe coming to Bhakti Riksha? Because we are not giving them a hook to come again next week, or maybe they are not hooked to think about Bhakti Riksha for whole week. Hmm? It's real intelligence. We have to put it intelligently into this. Okay? Some quotes. Okay. Can somebody read those for me? Yeah? Volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'll read.
Yeah, Mataji.
BV Group, Preaching Quotes. Srila Prabhupada says, if you simply hear for millions of years about Krishna consciousness and go outside and forget, that will not make you improve. Whatever you hear, you should say to others. That is perfection.
Whatever we are hearing, we have to speak. Yeah. Next one.
Shall I read or
Mataji, you go ahead.
someone else
Yeah,
will
go ahead.
read?
Go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
विशेषतः स्वतमेषु विनसङ्गं न मुच्यते स्वनिचेषु तु देवेषु विनसङ्गं न पुर्यते. Garuda Purana. One cannot be liberated without association with a pure devotee of the Lord, and unless one shows mercy to those in an inferior position, one's life will be superficial.
Yeah. We have to always take association of some senior, at least not pure devotees if it is not present, at least some senior. We have to take association, at least his level will grow, है ना. Sometimes people say, अरे प्रभु जी शुद्ध भक्त मिलेंगे तभी हम लोग मंदिर में जाएंगे, एसोसिएशन लेंगे, नहीं तो फिर हम लोग ऐसे ही पड़े रहेंगे. मतलब मराठी में कहावत है, खाइन तो तुपाशी नहीं तो उपाशी. मतलब इफ आई ईट आई विल ईट विद द घी, अदरवाइज आई विल स्टे हंग्री. So it's not like, at least we have to go with the devotees who are at least some senior to him and grow at his level. Finally, you can get some more senior devotees. Hmm? So yes, association is very important. Yes, Mataji, next one also you read.
Prabhupada says, those who act mercifully, showing compassion to the fallen, makes rapid progress and blissful. Whereas those who neglect missionary activities will gradually lose their taste.
Yeah. So we have to show compassion. It is said in one kahavat, one saying is that ki stagnant water rots faster. The knowledge, if we get, we read Prabhupada books, we read things, but if we just keep it with ourselves, it will rot. Knowledge will rot. If we give it others, it will always stay fresh. So it's very important to talk, and there's a real compassion to give this knowledge to others. Simply keeping with us is not so useful. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. So now
Thank you.
there's another case study that we are talking about. I spoke about a flamboyant speaker and all these things. Similar thing happened in a Durban. ISKCON Durban, they used to have a 36 group with 100 members each. Huge preaching. You know, that 36 group with 100 members means they had a 3600 devotees connected to programs strongly. And brahmacharis used to go, temple devotees used to go to these programs every week, give Bhakti Risha, Bhagavad Gita classes and all these things. It continued year after year after year. After 5 years, what happened? Some people observed they still had 36 groups, but the members which were 100 there before, they kept on going lower and lower and lower. Not even that. People who were present, they were always keep on changing. Old people, they were always gone, and some new people were there, and that too were very less. Why it happened? Why this group, which was having such a nice start, a 3600 people congregation, kept on shrinking? Hmm? Was it due to lack of engagement and sharing the leadership, or due to the empowering the congregation to take up more responsibilities and preaching missions? See, it was understood that ki people will get bored up. Just simply जाके सुनना है, ताली बजा के वापस आना है. They will not love it. Generally, people, sometimes some good speaker is there. We love to hear from him. If somebody has that technique of speaking. For some time it will look always good. After some time it becomes bored. अरे क्या सुनना है हमेशा अमोल लीला प्रभु को बार बार छोड़ दीजिए. टेस्ट नहीं आता, मज़ा नहीं आता है बार बार वही जोक सुन के, है ना. सो पीपल वांट टू हैव अ वैरायटी. सो लाइक पीपल विल गेट बोर्ड ऑफ. है ना, वहाँ पे जाके करना क्या है, सिर्फ बैठना ही है. जैसे अरे बाद में यूट्यूब पे सुन लेंगे भाई. सो दे डोंट like this, just simply go and speak and just do nothing. See, people's engagement, if this increased, people are engaged, people feel that they are doing something, they feel they are valued. When people feel valued, they will never miss the program. So always create an opportunity for engagement for each and every member. Why this person is coming to my Bhakti Vriksha? The question comes. Why this person should come next week to my Bhakti Vriksha? Hmm? So until unless we have answer for each and every member, don't expect that this person will come again. If he comes, it's literally Krishna's grace that he's coming. There should be always a reason for this person to come next week to my Bhakti Raksha. And again, the final point is the training. Every Bhakti Rikshas, now we have this training program, the workshops. So training program has to happen regularly for Bhakti Rikshas also. Some kind of workshops like a Pujari workshop, chanting workshop, book distribution workshop, and these and that. Many things will keep on. This will keep on refreshing their skills again and again. Is very important. Systematic training for every devotee is important. We cannot flourish with an ideal standards. Okay, Hare Krishna. So these are important aspects of Bhakti Ruksha. I hope you would have made a notes of it. Okay. So any questions still now?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Can I go for again one more question?
Yes, Prabhu.
So it's that common problem I have. I think most of the people also would I get. Now, preaching is a week-long activity, you told. Prabhu, so the thing is people at different levels struggle with managing their personal with spiritual activities.
Hmm.
People अभी सम टाइम नहीं है प्रभु जी, ये कॉमन डायलॉग है, ठीक है ना. इसे कैसे एड्रेस करें?
टाइम किसके पास नहीं है? मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है कि मेरे मेंबर के पास टाइम नहीं है?
मेरे पास भी कुछ लिमिटेड बहुत है बहुत में मैं एक्चुअली आप बोले वीक लॉन्ग एंगेजमेंट, सो मुझे
Yeah.
डेली मेडिटेट करना है, डेली उसको डेडिकेटेड टाइम देना है. फर्स्ट वर्ड
Hmm.
ये अब फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मेरा ही प्रॉब्लम है. मैं देखता हूँ मेरा प्रॉब्लम मेरा मेंबर्स में ही दिखेगा. जो प्रॉब्लम हमारा है वही जनरल हमारा मेंबर्स का भी मीन्स इसको हम लोग क्रॉस नहीं कर पाए तो उनका प्रॉब्लम हम लोग क्रॉस नहीं कर पाएंगे.
Your
फिर
problems
can't
can be
address.
handled by your seniors, and your juniors' problems will be handled by you.
Yeah.
Okay. See, one thing is that we are not giving a time to our seniors. We are not taking enough time from them. We are not taking enough inspirations from them. First, upward connectivity has to be stronger, and then definitely our downward connectivity will improve. Ideal guru is ideal disciple, isn't it? So when we have learning nicely from our seniors, like when you have a Karnapati Prabhu there, you can take enough time from him. He will never say, Prabhuji, मेरे पास time नहीं है. He will be always present for you. Like that. So when you see that, yes, my mentor, my guide is always available for me to teach and to improve myself. Yes, I'm also available for my juniors or the members to solve their problems and help them. And yes, of course, it's not that ki always you should be staying with them. I gave the example of tortoise, right? Even if you're not talking to them, at least meditate on them. Hmm?
Hmm.
Okay? So the meditation is important. See, we should be first of all nourished and saturated with Krishna conscious philosophy.
Hmm.
Preaching is the happiness that I'm feeling in the Krishna consciousness giving to others. If we ourselves are struggling in our Krishna consciousness, and if we are ourselves are not happy in the Krishna consciousness, how we will preach, man? Hmm? First of all, we should relish Krishna consciousness, and we should feel this by when I'm standing in front of the altar, when I'm doing arti, happiness I'm feeling. And that happiness, we are giving compassion to others, and we are telling Krishna, hey Lord, those devotees are struggling in their bhakti. Please help them, show some mercy. And Krishna is listening. Hmm? So if we are ourselves overwhelmed with our own problems, how we will think about them? जिसके पास खुद ही समय नहीं है, वो दूसरों को समय कैसे देगा? First of all, we should be having a proper control of our life first. If I myself is in a complete mess of my life, how can I help others? मैं खुद ही डूब रहा हूँ, उसको कैसे बचाऊंगा? First of all, make our sadhana, our consciousness, our relishment in bhakti strong. Then yes, definitely, this relishment we can give it to others.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Ardha Mataji.
Prabhuji, I had a um, issue like mostly whom we are preaching, they have some level of religious inclination.
Hmm.
So they have their own rituals and इस दिन में ये करना है, ये वाला पूजा वो वाला पूजा है and all that. Frankly speaking, I'm not well aware of all these things because I don't know since when I have not followed rituals properly. I straight
Hmm.
away I'm following whatever is given in ISKCON.
Hmm.
So I'm most of the time not able to answer them. Like आज सुबह एक माता जी ने पूछा वो पंचक चल रहा है ना, तो ऐसे से होगा क्या माता जी? तुलसी का पूजा संडे को होगा क्या? मुझे नहीं पता, ISKCON में हमारा डेली होता है. तो sometimes we look like we don't know much because rituals के बारे में seriously I don't know प्रभु जी. तो फिर वो लोग
Hmm.
पूछते हैं तो मैं I'm not able to answer them properly. मुझे
Hmm.
सिर्फ ISKCON का ही जितना है उतना, जितना पता है वो भी कम ही पता है, बट जितना पता है उतना. तो ये इसमें ना फिर वो लोग दे थिंक कि ओ इन लोग को तो दे डोंट इवन नो दिस, फिर उनको इनको क्या पता, ऐसे करके. तो देर आई फील लिटिल बैक, आई टेक 2 steps बैक. तो वहां पे क्या करना है, कैसे करना है प्रभु जी?
It's not wrong to have some knowledge about others' customs and others' beliefs. If we know them, we can address them properly. कि yes, some
रॉन्ग गलत नहीं
customs are
प्रभु जी, मेरा
there.
इंक्लिनेशन नहीं है तो पता नहीं है
Hmm.
प्रभु जी, पता ही
Yeah,
नहीं
yeah.
है. हाँ.
We are not aware of it. Yeah, we can get some knowledge about it. So if we know our patient properly, we can treat him properly, right? So it's very important to know what their customs are there. Somebody is a Mayavadi,
प्रभु जी,
somebody is
हरे कृष्णा,
Advaitvadi.
सॉरी, हरे कृष्णा,
Yeah.
can't able to hear you. uh,
Hare Krishna. Am I
I,
audible for everyone?
yeah, very slow प्रभु जी.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. So it's very important to know our patient first before treating him. Hmm? So if you don't know what's the problem they are facing with and what kind of customs and things they are following it, so first of all, know from them. If you don't know, it's not wrong to ask them. कि, oh, you are coming from this kind of a culture. Okay, you are Odisha. I'm from Maharashtra. I don't know many things about Odisha culture. So maybe I'm not be able to guide you, but yes, I can know from you now. So I can ask you, Mataji, okay, ये culture ऐसा है वैसा है. Even in my group also, there are so many Odissi Matajis are there. They keep on telling something different, new things about Jagannath ji and all these things. I don't know all these things, but yes, it's an opportunity for me to know something from them. Yeah, it may not be our customs and all these things, but yes, if they are following their customs nicely and which are authentic, we should always encourage. No problem. Are you good? Nice, do it.
प्रभु जी
So somebody is.
ऑथेंटिक नहीं तो पता ही नहीं ना प्रभु जी. अभी फॉर एग्जांपल कस्टम्स और
So it's not
रिचुअल्स देख रहे
wrong
हैं.
for somebody. In the Bhagavad Gita, there's a shloka, right? It says ki somebody is doing something low class religion, we should not discourage them. At least they're following some religion, right? So it's not until unless they become mature enough, we should not stop the rituals that they are doing at home. When they become mature enough, then we can ask them, okay, you start doing something here in this way, you know. So later you can do it. It's not hurry bari. We should not be hurry to अरे छोड़ दो सब कुछ, you know, not right. So let them take a safe side. Let them keep on doing it, and at the right moment you can ask them to take a right higher steps. Hmm? And in the meantime, you can learn about them, whether they're authentic or not. You can ask, we can talk, we can do some research on those customs. ठीक है.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु.
Okay,
Yes,
Prabhuji,
Sanjay
thank
Prabhu.
you.
Hare Hare.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु.
Sanjay Prabhu, yes Prabhu.
प्रभु मेरा एक डाउट था.
Yeah, पूछिए.
Like we are doing Bhakti Viksha and lot of programs. So this is for our spiritual growth also and for spreading Krishna consciousness also.
है ना, definitely.
प्रभु लेकिन हम क्या है, एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सेटअप में है प्रभु.
कैसे सेटअप में?
दिस इज नॉट ए,
I think you.
मतलब ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सेटअप में जैसे आप बोल रहे हैं कि आप सेक्टर लीडर हैं, ये भक्त वृक्ष है, सर्वेंट है, सर्वेंट लीडर है, ये जो भी है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सेटअप में. इन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सेटअप
कम्युनिकेशन
में
सेटअप बोल रहे हैं ना आप?
कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कोई इंसिडेंट हो गया, जैसे नहीं नहीं ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सेटअप में ऐसा इंसिडेंट हो गया
ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सेटअप,
इन
ओके,
विच
ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में.
आई डोंट लाइक माय सीनियर on particular matter, his advice or something. In many cases I disagree with him. It is not a spiritual thing that I disagree with him. Obviously he is because he is senior, he is the more spiritually more advanced than me, but because of organizational work I don't suppose I don't like him. So how to means how these two things will go parallelly, how I will keep on doing this thing means keep on जब भी कोई ऐसा इंसिडेंट होगा तो मुझे आई विल वट एवर ही टेल्स तो मुझे वही इंसिडेंट के लाइट में उसको देखता हूँ कि ये इंसिडेंट उन्होंने ऐसे हैंडल किया है और उसके बाद भी ऐसे दो चार और इंसिडेंट उनको ऐसे हैंडल करते हैं, तो व्हाट ही इज सेइंग इट डजंट हैव एनी वैल्यू.
प्रभु एक चीज तो समझना है.
तो उनका जो जितना भी वो है, वो व्हाट इंस्ट्रक्शन दे हैव गिवन, आई थिंक दैट इज हॉलो फ्रॉम इनसाइड.
डजंट टच टू योर हार्ट.
ओनली हाँ, क्योंकि वो स्पीकिंग अलग है, जो दे डोंट
एक्शन अलग है.
वॉक दे टॉक. वो टॉकिंग अलग करते हैं, मतलब वो अलग होता है, और वो एक्चुअल में जो प्रैक्टिस होता है वो अलग है. इट इज वेरी गुड नाइस थिंग टू लेक्चर. ठीक है, मैं कुछ वो भगवतम से कुछ सुना दूंगा या वैसा कुछ सुना दूंगा, वो अलग होता है, लेकिन वो एक्चुअल में प्रैक्टिकली आप क्या करते हो वो भी हमको बहुत इफेक्ट करता है और कर रहा है एक्चुअली में. तो उसमें कैसे ग्रोथ होगा ये समझ में नहीं.
See, एक जो चीज हमें समझना है कि this whatever you're talking about organization structure that we are putting
How
here
I will
is not. या ठीक है. आपको आवाज आ रही मेरी? हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
हाँ, मुझे आवाज आई थी. मतलब मेरे
हाँ
क्वेश्चन
चल
समझ गए
ठीक.
प्रभु. ऐसे बहुत सारे डिफरेंसेस हैं
समझ रहा
प्रभु,
हूँ.
ऐसे बहुत सारे डिफरेंसेस हैं. इन डिफरेंसेस में हाउ हाउ आई विल मूव फॉरवर्ड, क्योंकि
या
मुझे अभी और डिफरेंसेस और ज्यादा क्रिएट होते ही जाएंगे ऑब्वियसली, जैसे
प्रभु
हम
जी, जो
टाइम बीतता जाएगा.
स्ट्रक्चर हमारा बना हुआ है ना, ये स्ट्रक्चर कोई एक डायरेक्ट बाउंडेड ऑथोरिटिकल स्ट्रक्चर नहीं है. This is like, if you are in my bhakti riksha, you are bound with me, and without me you should not listen to anybody else. इधर जाने का नहीं, उधर जाने. This is not a kind of a bonded laborious structure. Sometimes we see this into governmental organizations. We see this into other different organizations also. कि if you are with me, you should listen to me only. Others orders you should not accept. So this is not like that. Even in a ISKCON's today's structure, even somebody takes initiation even from somebody, he is free to take inspiration from many other god brothers or senior sannyasis and Prabhupada disciples also. in this scenario that you are mentioning here right now. If you are not gelling with your immediate authorities, or maybe your immediate seniors, or maybe his ideas are not good, are not appealing to you. But yes, of course, you have a full freedom to take guidance from anybody else. See, in this structure, we have uh, this is a community of the devotees which are growing together. If you have any difficulties, we are not taking inspiration from only one person here. There are so many other people who we are taking inspiration from. We are seeing each other. It's a very closely bonded community. You are not bonded only to your authority, or maybe your leader, or maybe your sector leader, or anybody. You are free to take inspiration from anywhere. And yes, implementation wise, yes, definitely you can discuss, and what is right, what is apt, you can do it. Hmm. Until unless somebody is telling something philosophically and principally wrong, it's okay. But yes, if somebody is principally telling going deviating from that, then it's a serious matter. Otherwise, all others are details that can be mended and tamed, and there is a different way to implement that. Okay. So you can always discuss. Your sector leader is there, your Bhakti Vishal leader is there, your Bhakti Vishal leader is not kind of, then you can sector leader is also there. There's so many other different leaders are there who can guide, discuss. Always there is a chance for you to grow. Okay. So this is no, when we come to the voluntary organizations, we can't expect people to be bonded with us only. We can't claim people voluntary. We are not paying them, right? At least your organization, in a government organization, they're paying. They're paid by the salaries, right? If they don't work, they will lose the salary, right? They lose their position. But here is not like that. We cannot keep people bonded with us, and if we insist on that, we are ultimately we are only will be the loser. Now, if I tell you, okay, Sanjay Prabhu, you should listen to me only, you should not listen to anybody else, you are only bonded with me. I said, well, kya baat kya hai? I am the labor or what? People will be loser. Hmm? So who will you? Not you. I will be the loser actually if I sell all these things to you. Okay. So we'll this attitude of Bhakti leader we will be discussing in the next section. Hmm? Okay. Okay. So we have come to the end of this. Any other questions before we end this session here? Okay. So let us take a break now. Meditate, revise, take a break, loo break, or water break, or maybe eating break, and come back. What time shall we meet? Half an hour break shall we give? 3:30? Is it fine?
Yes, Prabhu, 3:30 is fine.
3:30 fine. So we'll meet at 3:30. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, we have to go for seva at usually I start at 4:10, 4 o'clock.
Okay.
So how do we complete the session then, Prabhuji?
Okay.
Because if
Okay.
we are meeting
4:30,
at
3:30 to
3:30,
4:30. If we continue, you can carry on for the seva then after that. After that.
usually we assemble there at 4:30 because session starts
Oh,
at 5
you have to
o'clock,
start from
no?
home at 4
And
o'clock.
for me, yeah, journey is little 20 to 25 minutes.
Okay. Is it okay for you to keep headphones on and listening?
Okay, Prabhuji, I'll listen to like whatever time it permits. Then anyways you have recording also, no? I can follow
True.
the recording then.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. It
Thank
was a
you.
very